Hey guys, welcome back. So, as you see here, we have a lot of eggs. And the main reason we have a lot of eggs is because a lot of workplaces are shut down, and my wife, Mrs. Homestead, would often sell eggs when she would go into the office. And she had lots of people that would like to buy eggs from her. And now there is no office per se. Most people are working from home, so that has changed the dynamic somewhat. But you know, it's we end up like this a lot of times anyway. So we give a lot of eggs away to our neighbors and all that. But what do you do when you have a lot? One thing you can do with eggs is you can freeze them. So once you cook them, like if you scrambled up a bunch of eggs, then you could actually take those scrambled eggs and freeze them. So that's an idea. But one thing to think about when you have chickens is that you're going to have lots of eggs. And prior to having a bunch of chickens, when we only had a few, we would not refrigerate them. Eggs will stay, believe it or not, you can just sit the eggs on the counter and they'll stay that way for, maybe 2 months, easy. But once you get this number, you obviously don't have the counter space for that, so it makes sense to refrigerate them. And once you refrigerate them, you have to keep them refrigerated. But if you don't refrigerate them from the start, and they still have the original coating, the little juice that's still on the egg from the hen that lays it, that is a coating that protects it. And when in doubt, you do the float test. You drop them in water, and don't open a floater. But if it sinks, then it still has not allowed in any air, and the coating is good to go. So when in doubt with eggs, you always just put them in water. So that's pretty much the idea. And another thing, you don't mind the messy area here, but it looks like we have more. Now, we've been doing a lot of mushroom videos lately, but that's just what the homestead is producing, eggs and mushrooms, so think about that. And tomatoes and peppers and things of that nature. So we just omelets every day you could have. But and also the pink oyster. This bag right here of pinks is probably about the fifth flush, and that thing will produce more, I'm sure. And this is maybe the third of the goldens, which are quite delicate. By this time, they're putting out really small clusters. And they don't store long, and they cook down. The yellows, it doesn't take much to cook those down. So even if you have a lot of goldens or yellows, what they end up doing is when you put them in the pan to cook them, they just cook down. They're not as hardy. The whites that I've just harvested, the summer white, wow, those things are hardy. They don't cook down much at all. I mean, they do cook down, but not much at all, and they go a long ways. The same thing with the pinks. They kind of cook down, not as much as the yellows, but they do cook down. And you want to cook them for at least 15, 20 minutes. So it's one of those things. As far as I had a question about the fruit chamber. If you can see there, this is just basically a fogger, an ultrasonic fogger in a tub with water and a fan that blows. I typically have the fan inside like this just to force air out of the other side. Really, really low tech, low budget deal. And then occasionally I will let it sit here just to provide some fresh air. And it's hooked up to a bathroom fart fan that is sitting by a window. That's pretty much it. When I say the same kind of fan you would have in the bathroom ceiling, an exhaust fan for moisture or whatever when you take a shower. All right, guys, have a good one. And remember to do something today. Start your homestead today. There's a lot of things you can do, and I have a feeling that it's going to be a really, really cold winter. I don't know why, but it's just the weather seems to be one of those things where we're going to have a really cold winter. So we'll talk a little bit more about how we heat our homestead. We heat with wood. Some of the things that we that make it easy, but I have a feeling it's going to be a really cold winter. So I don't know, just a thought that just popped into my head. In either event, you guys have a good one.